Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another edition of 6 for 6. Great to be back on this program. We got a lot of filled events for you this coming up weekend, focusing on solely college football, easier making the script, which allows us to get all of our results faster so we don't have to wait multiple days to figure out what our record is. So having college football all on Saturday, a lot of good games for us. We're going to get you through tonight's program, get you up to Monday Night Football tonight against the Cardinals and Saints. And without further ado, let's recap last week. Last week's record, we went 3-3. We went from the glorious 6-0 2 episodes ago back to 3-3, where we belong, where we get 50-50 chance on a lot of that stuff. But that improves our overall record, ladies and gentlemen, to 83, 69, and 2. But as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I have different headphones. What happened is that my other headphones that I was putting them on one night to talk to some friends, and they snapped. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happened to my old headphones. They snapped, and I can no longer use them, and they have been decommissioned out of service. So rest in peace to my headphones, the skull candies that I have that have been doing podcasting for quite some time has now been retired. So the first equipment that I have to retire my podcasting career. So I can mark this date, October 20th, 2022. I had to retire my headphones that I use for podcasting. Now we're on to my Bose headphones that I've had for quite some time before I got these, but now these are going to be the active headphones of service. They're nice and comfy and all that stuff. So it's going to be really great for future programs and other podcasts that I do in the future with friends and other networks along that way. But without further ado, like I said, our overall record is 83, 69, and 2. So let's break it down to business. In our number 6 slot, we got, Washington versus University of California. College football Saturday, October 22nd, ladies and gentlemen, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pac-12 After Dark game, the game that we all going to enjoy ourselves when you're at a local bar or at your dive-in, drinking a nice cold one and looking up and saying, college football, Pac-12 After Dark. How to throw this Pac-12 After Dark game up to there. What a nice, easy dub. So I'm feeling Washington will take care of business. Yes, they've struggled a little bit. Yes, they lost to Arizona and they lost to UCLA, but they took care of Arizona and they lost to Arizona State. So, going throughout there. But Cal has been struggling this year. They haven't really cracked more than a lot of 20-point games. So this team has just been wishy-washy. And, Washington will take care of business on this one with no other debate that we need to go into. Even looking at the percentage, ESPN has Washington winning it with a 69% chance of victory, and I have to agree with ESPN on that. Next up into the 5th slot, we got Kansas State, number 17th in the nation, versus TCU, number 8 in the nation. College football Saturday, October 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time on FS1. These two teams have been going on their nice trajectory. Kansas State defeats Oklahoma, 3 weeks ago, where TCU has been making a rampant, I would say, production campaign through the Big 12, taking care of 2 weeks ago, Kansas, taking care of Oklahoma State, just knocking teams off the pedestal, getting their way to the college football playoffs, and getting their way to a Big 12 title game. But Kansas State is also looking to turn some heads this year. They, too, have been doing a phenomenal year. Kansas State is 5-1 versus, TCU 6-0. Definitely top teams in the Big 12 this year, going for, like I said, getting to that college football playoff, getting their bid in, and doing a deep run in the playoffs. They need help. Knocking these opponents off gets them one step closer. It's not an easy task, but ESPN has TCU winning it with a 65% chance of victory, and I'm going to have to agree with ESPN as well with this one. TCU has been doing solid from start to finish this year, taking care of ranked opponents. Sure, you can say, they're not playing really good opponents. Yes, these teams have been ranked, but they're not deserving the rank. But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, they've been ranked for a reason. They beat a good opponent, and they've been showing consistency. That's why they are ranked. Now we can do, based on their position, define and debate where they should be ranked. But the polls have ranked them a certain way. So they are a school to be ranked and to be valued. Now, their valuability, like I said, can be debated ins and outs. Like you have Tennessee being ranked up really high. They took care of Alabama and all that stuff, but you have the SEC bias with their school being ranked. TCU has been taking care of the teams in the Big 12, making a solid campaign push at the Big 12 title game. And I believe that TCU will continue to do well. There may be some bumps in the road. They may get a loss here and there, but they've been a decent performance so far. So I want to see how far they can go. And I'm going to pick TCU to take care of Kansas State. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, in the 4th slot, we have Minnesota versus number 16 Penn State at Penn State college football. Saturday, October 22nd, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC. Great match between these two schools. If it was at Minnesota, I would be feeling the edge of Minnesota. But since it's at Happy Valley, I feel like Minnesota is just going to have a tough time defeating Penn State. Yes, Penn State struggled against Michigan. Their offense didn't really look great. Sure, at half, you'd be like, oh, Penn State was close against Michigan, all that stuff. No, Michigan threw a pick six, would literally brought them closer into that game. That was the only reason why Penn State was lingering in that game. Their offense just couldn't get the ball going in that game against the team up north. With that, you have Minnesota trying to make their way into the Big Ten West. Yes, they're 4-2. Do they have a shot at the Big Ten title game? Certainly, if they win out. But you can't be losing to teams like Purdue, Illinois. But you take care of Michigan State, who's been struggling this year, and dominating teams. But then you can't beat teams within your respective conference, and you're taking L's. That's not acceptable. You have two conference losses in the Big Ten West. That hurts your shot at the Big Ten title game. But you have a great record, 4-2 and stuff like that. Stuff like you need to turn that around. Defeating Penn State does help. But if you lose, your dashes at the Big Ten title game are being erased. So I got Penn State walking out a dub with this one. They're going to go, 6-1, need some help in the Big Ten East to get back at the Big Ten title game. But we have to see how that unfolds. But like I said, ESPN has Penn State winning it with a 62% chance of victory. I'm going to have to agree with that. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we got Texas. Texas is back, ladies and gentlemen. Texas is on the rise, being ranked again, number 20 in the nation versus number 11, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State had a tough loss to TCU in double overtime. But ladies and gentlemen, Texas is roaring back this season. They took care of Oklahoma. They took care of Iowa State in a close fashion. Can they beat Oklahoma State? Certainly. I don't think they're going to it's a tough battle. They're on the road at Oklahoma State, but it's a battle-tested Texas team. They played close against Alabama, losing their starting quarterback in that game. They took care of West Virginia. They lost to Texas Tech in overtime. Like, this Texas team is doing decent this year. Their goal is to get to the Big 10, the Big 12 title game. That's all they can really shoot for, because that's how the college football playoffs are starting to shake out. So can they rise to the occasion, take care, and knock off Oklahoma State, improving their chances to slip in to be a top 10 team, being a 2-loss team, being like a number 8 and needing some help in the college football playoffs, how the committee wants to value Texas, stuff like that. But I think Texas can pull up the upset here. But, ladies and gentlemen, even ESPN has Texas dominating Oklahoma State with a 66% chance of victory over against Oklahoma State. And I believe that too. I think Texas can take care of business and take care of the dub on this. So that's my pick. You can catch this game Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC. Next up in the number 2 slot, we got Syracuse and Clemson, both undefeated teams in the ACC, duking it out to try to solidify their spot in the ACC title game and college football playoffs. I think Syracuse has been the trap game to Clemson against the past few years. And yes, Syracuse can beat Clemson at Clemson. It's not, a task that's fawned upon them. It's a task that they can do. This Syracuse team can do something special and ride out into the sunset and slip into the college football playoffs by knocking off number 5 Clemson. Clemson has been, I wouldn't say dominating teams. They've been taking care of business and winning and just keeping themselves in the top 5. They haven't done anything impressive in my eyes to say this is a top 4 team that is destined for a college football playoffs. They're on the outside looking in. They need a decisive victory to put them as a 4. It's not an easy task what they're going through. But I think Syracuse is the team to pull up the upset here. Sure, ESPN has Clemson winning it with an 83% chance of victory, but this Syracuse team, I feel like, has on the verge of doing something special and knocking off Clemson yet again. We've seen it in the past. They can do it again. And I feel like Syracuse can do the upset in this matchup. Like I said, Syracuse is number 14th in the nation versus Clemson, number 5 in the nation. Like I said, you can catch this game Saturday at noon, 9 a.m. Pacific time on ABC. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me reveal the number 1 game of the week. Number 1 game of the week is UCLA, baby. It's back. UCLA has been so prevalent in my picks for 6 for 6 because they've just been turning heads and been doing solid performances from start to finish. Oregon has been lurking after their bushwhacking against Georgia, but they've been undefeated since. They took care of BYU. Took care of Washington State, took care of Stanford, took care of Arizona. UCLA is taking care of Utah, Washington, Colorado, and some smaller schools. So definitely 2 Titans clashing it out, taking care of business in it. But I think UCLA will take care of business, pull out the dub. And yes, it's on a great road environment in Oregon. Beating Oregon on the road is definitely will help solidify their case. But ESPN has Oregon winning it with a 71% chance. I don't know how you disrespect UCLA that's been just lingering, knocking teams out that have been semi-playoff contention teams. Yes, Oregon's also another playoff contention team, but UCLA has been, taking care of things. They have a decent program. They've been on the rise. Can they, have enough what it takes to get them over the hump, get them to the Pac-12 title game, go undefeated, and then let the committee debate whether UCLA gets into the college football playoffs. This is a team that's been lurking in the polls and trying to turn, I would say, UCLA back, but back into a team that's in its former glory days of what it once was. That's where UCLA is trying to go against. But we're going to see at the end of the year when UCLA faces USC in that classic matchup. I think you can't turn a blind eye to that one. Definitely going to be something to watch. But we got to see how UCLA does and finish out this season. But starting there, halfway through the season, taking care of Oregon is definitely a stepstone. And plus, it's a road win if they can get it done at Oregon. Definitely got to tune in. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I have UCLA winning it. You can catch this game Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time on Fox. Without further ado, we'll do a quick recap and we'll get you all ready for Thursday night football against the Saints and Cardinals. All right, with the number 6 spot, we have Washington versus Cal, and I have Washington winning it. You can catch it Saturday, Pac-12 After Dark, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. Next up, we have number 17, Kansas State versus TCU, number 8 in the country. Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time on FS1. Next up in the number 4 slot, I almost put Minnesota ranked, but it's just Minnesota versus number 16 Penn State. College football, Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC. Next up, we got number 20 Texas versus Oklahoma State, number 11 in the nation. Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC. Number 2 is number 14 Syracuse versus number 5 Clemson. Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time on ABC. And like I said, the game of the week, ladies and gentlemen, UCLA, number 9 in the nation versus Oregon, number 10 in the nation. Saturday, October 22nd, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time on Fox. Like I said, last week's record, we went 3-3. Hopefully, we can get another 6-0 on the board and continue our quest to get 100 dubs this season. We completed the milestone, going perfect in our bracket. Now we're just trying to chase 100 correct picks this year. Hopefully, we can get it done before the end of this year. Before, like I said, we conclude our season right after the Big Ten title, get all the college football championship weekends at that point to conclude our season for 6 for 6. Like I said, our overall record is 83, 69 and 2. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy Thursday night football and enjoy all the sporting events that are happening this week, as well as hockey and Major League Baseball and the quest for the World Series. Thank you so much for watching. So long for now. Bye-bye.